guys, so welcome to part 2 of my blush recommendations. This is going to be my bright blushes, my favorite bright blushes in my collection. I'm going to tell you right now, most of them are Coastal Scents Forever blushes, but I have a couple other recommendations in there. Make sure you check out my first video on all of the neutral blushes in my collection that I love. And so yeah, I wanted to give you these recommendations for bright, specifically for women of color, darker skin, although with a light hand, they can work with whatever you wear, whatever you want, honey. But yeah, just from my experience and my skin tone. The also thing I wanted to say is I did not include any palettes in here because blush palettes are a little bit hit and miss. There's usually not a blush palette unless you make it yourself that accommodates, like, all the shades are going to work for you. All the shades are going to be for your skin tone, or all the shades are going to, you know, be a favorite. So that's why I didn't put any blush palettes in there. I do recommend trying out inexpensive blush palettes so you can, if you're starting with blush, you can get to know what kind of tones you like, what kind of shades you like, what kind of finishes you like on your cheeks. So that's something that I do recommend, but for the sake of like favorites in here in my collection, I don't have any palettes in here. So I just want to let you know that. So let's go ahead and get into it. And all of my blushes in the bright recommendation are drugstore price. Drugstore price, okay? I have an Inglot in here and it's like $8, but it's online, so yeah, drugstore price. The first one is the one I'm wearing right now, and this is the e.l.f. Alright, let's see what it's called. I don't know. This is the e.l.f. blush. It's one of their newer pressed blushes, and this is in the shade Always Fiery. It is a matte, bright orange blush. I'm wearing it today. It does not look that bright orange, but this is a wonderful spring, summer pop of color shade. I think this blush will look great with like a coral lipstick or something like that. Again, it's completely matte. This is about $6. You get a lot in the pan, and it is a, look at that, bright orange. All of these blushes that I'm going to tell you now, all of them, a light hand is definitely recommended. You can pack on the blush if you want to. I like to use the e.l.f. Why doesn't e.l.f. have any names of their stuff on here? This brush from e.l.f. is like the selfie ready powder brush. It's a bigger brush. I don't use it for powder. I actually use it for blush. And all these blushes, I can tell you now, are one tap. One tap, get some off type of blush, which is great. You get more for your money. It's great. Lasts you forever. Great. All right, and then moving on, the next one is from Milani. This is another one of their flower blushes. I had one of them in my neutral recommendations, but this is Coral Cove, and this is a completely matte, bright coral blush, okay? With the flower imprint. It's really pretty. This is probably the lightest pink that I'm going to recommend to you, especially for my skin tone. It really is a coral pink, but it's still in that light side where light, almost cool side, where you're close to looking ashy. Well, me, in my opinion. But this is a beautiful, bright, again, springtime, summertime color. And yeah, see it right there. That coral is beautiful. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and touch on these Inglot blushes. So Inglot has what is called a freedom system. And there's these empty, you get the little empty palette, and then you get the pans to fit in. So I have 2 Inglot single blushes that I want to share with you guys. I made a duo. This is number 63, and this is number 61. So 63 is this bright fuchsia purple. This is 61, and this is a bright, true, hot pink. All right, these bad boys are intense. So I'm gonna take my finger. I'm not even gonna, and you get pigment on it. Look at that. I'm not even gonna swirl it. Okay, I'm not even gonna swirl it. And that is enough for my cheek to get that flush of color. If you want to see it concentrated, there it is. If you want to see it concentrated, there it is. Yeah, and then this is 61. I mean, that looks really washed out on camera, but it's not that. Again, it's not that light. But when you're in front of these lights, you know. So yeah, and those are magnetic. You can just buy the pans and pop them in a Z palette, or you can buy a single compact. So they have these that I cut it in half and you can just fit one in. That is a little annoying, like to buy the if you just want this, to buy the packaging or have a palette or whatever. But they are inexpensive. If that's something, I do recommend like not just buying one. Like if you're gonna do an Inglot situation, just wait until they have other shades you like, or you're saving up and build a little system. Which it just makes more sense to me. Okay, and then the next two are from NYX, and they are two more ombre blushes. So if you watch my first video, you can pretty much see the brands are repeating. Like if they make good neutral blushes, they make good bright blushes. I have a lot of other, you know, blushes that I enjoy, but these are definitely the favorites and the repeats and the consistent, like, old faithfuls, if you will. I'll scan through these before I scan through some of my other blushes, just because I know that their pigmentation, they're gonna work. So the next two ombre blushes are matte, and they're really bright. And this first one is called Feel the Heat. This is a matte, look at it. Look at it. And this is called Code Breaker. Purple. Fuchsia purple. You can see the ombre a bit. Okay, so I'll swatch them. Jeez. Look at that. Concentrated, but we're blending. Look. Check those out. Again, my pinks are really light right now, so yeah. Every time I pull out a baby wipe, I think of my sister, and she bought me the makeup eraser because she gets tired of hearing the baby wipe packaging. But it's just so much more convenient. I don't even know where the makeup eraser is right now. I don't rearrange my room so many times, but then I have to wash that. I don't know. This is just so much more convenient, and they're wet, and I'm sorry, Carmen. I'm sorry that annoys you. I'm sorry. I'm a creature of habit. Alright, and then the last 6 are Coastal Scents Forever blushes, and I'm just going to run through the shades. These are all really bright. I'll run through from less bright to most bright, in my opinion. The less brighter ones are going to be in the red brick family. They're just not as neutral as the neutral ones I mentioned in the video. Alright, so these definitely are going to give you some pop of color. So this is the first one. This is Sweet. It is a satin finish pink. It's a satin finish pink. All right. This next one, my swatches are horrible right now in the light. The next one is Exquisite, and we're getting deeper into the brick reds. We're getting deeper into the brick reds, with drops of pink in there. And then Graceful. These are very similar, so I'll show them both to you. Okay, and these are both matte. All of these are matte. All of these are matte. And I will say this, with bright blushes, you want to go matte. Like a bright shimmery blush is just too much brightness on too many levels. And I didn't notice that until I'm just looking at them now. All of the blushes, the bright blushes that I'm recommending to you are matte. And I did not do that on purpose. And that could be personal preference. That could be there's just a lack of shimmer bright blushes made. But yeah, they're all matte. Okay, and then we're getting even brighter with a fuchsia, and this is Alluring. All right. This is similar to that 63 from Inglot. Okay. All right, and then the two brightest that I have here are Enchanting, which is a true pink, just pink blush. See if we can get. Still looking light washed out, but pink. And then we have Radiant. Radiant, which is a beautiful fiery orange. Look at that one. Look at that. So I'll show you the other two oranges just to compare. This is the e.l.f. orange. And this is the NYX orange. So I'll show you these three. Very similar, but I couldn't choose. Very similar. So yeah, those are all of my bright blush recommendations. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about any of them, feel free to leave it down below. Check them out. I love you all, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.